Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video, we're just going to go through the Ethreals Synergy slate at Legendary. So, just to begin with, the Ethreals team, they are focused on doing as many crits as possible and also having a communal damage reduction as well as a life share, typically, and that's for their non-seasonal buffs. Now, for their seasonal buffs for Season 4 specifically, when energy reaches 50 after taking fatal damage, allies have 10% chance to retain 1 HP, then restore 30% of max HP. It can be triggered 3 times per battle. When energy reaches 100, so this is the crude level. So it might be easier if I go into the preview and just show you from here. So depending on the level of the slate, so crude, common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary, and finally mythic if you do get up to that. When energy reaches 50 after taking fatal damage, we've gone through that one already. So that is your crude slate. If you get it up to common, when energy reaches 100 after dealing active damage, allies have 10% chance to increase target's damage taken by 100% for 1 round. Next is the uncommon. So when it reaches 150, each dead ally increases the max HP of surviving allies by 10%. So that would be up to a maximum of 40% if you have it up to uncommon. We go to rare. When energy reaches 200, chance of allies not dying after taking fatal damage increases to 20%, and amount of HP restored is up to 30. We go up to epic, and this increases the chance of doing the additional damage by 20%. And then we get up to legendary, and each energy receives when energy reaches 300, each dead ally increases the max HP of surviving allies by 20%. And then finally, we do have mythic as well. So when energy reaches 400, allies gain ascension for 3 rounds. Now, I can't for the life of me remember what Ascension means, but I don't have a Mythic slate at the moment, and it isn't super feasible for you to get Ethreals up to Mythic, and there's 3 big reasons for that, and that is the units included on the Ethreals Synergy are the best units, in my opinion, the best units within the Ethreals Synergy itself. So that would be Catherine, that would be Karnak, and that would be Eudora. Those 3 units are effectively the core of the Ethreals team, and because they're on the Astrals team, you might as well just run an Astrals team over an Ethreals team. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into some gameplay for them and show you a couple of different team builds. As you can see, I've beat the Ethreals 61 and we're up to Ethreals 62. This is the team that I used previously to beat the Ethreals. As you can see, only one Ethreal in there, and it's Eudora. And the reason that I've got this set up is to power up Eudora as much as we possibly can to try and push through, because these enemies are really tough. I'm not going to try this one at the moment. We're just going to build a standard Ethreals setup. So let's go ahead and unequip all of these, all of the artifacts. We'll go ahead and unequip all of these relics, and we're just going to build a standard Ethreals team to go through. So what I mean by this is, if we have a look here, it says, you know, if the Astrals and the Ethreals Synergy is drawing or a drawing in the numbers department. So if you've got 4 Astrals and 4 Ethreals, as we do at the moment, the Astrals Season Synergy will take over, so you won't get the buffs from your energy going up, you won't get the chance to revive, and you won't get the additional damage to enemies. Now, what I am going to do is I'm just going to pop in Dorabella. There are other options as well. You can go Mastimer to get the Royals buff up to 4. But for me, because my Dorabella has red runes, I'm going to stick her in the front here, like so. Lysandra in the middle. Karnak here is going to be putting in some work as well. And we'll just pop in some Ethreals relics. So we only have one of the first slot. We've only got one of the second slot, which is the hammer, and we have two options, which are scales, or we have the whip, demon blade whip. Now, typically, I would go for the whip just to increase that max HP. It works very well with the damage reduction that you'll get from the Ethreals type. So, if you don't know, if you have three of these, three of the Ethreals relics in play, at the start of battle, Ethreals Synergy mates will obtain HP bond buff, increases damage reduction by 10%. So you get the damage reduction and you get the bond buff as well, and you do need three. Now the gourd is a new one, and we will be getting that over the course of the next couple of weeks. So something to keep in mind, that Ethreals will be getting another relic to add to their repertoire. Now, this is a pretty standard Ethreals team. Potentially Lysandra can go here, Dorabella on the front as well, something like that. But because my Lysandra isn't very high in star level, her base stats aren't very good, so we're going to keep her on the back row. Now, the enemies here, the Corrupt Archers, will attack each of the Ethreals as well as the Corrupted Crystal, and Corrupted Lucarian as well will also attack all of the Ethreals. So what we want to do is we want to do as much damage as we possibly can, and as quickly as we possibly can as well. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and add in our Ethereal relics here. So you can just go splash damage and landing a crit. Has a chance to obtain Awaken. This really should be used in conjunction with Elowin. Elowin, again, she does have that 30% chance to trigger the Awaken, so increase attack and defense by 150%, and one stack of Sanctuary for 3 rounds as well. It is something that you can do. I'll choose not to do that, and I will go for the axe. I'll go for the star here, or the trinket, whatever it is. What's it called? Pursuit dart. I think that potentially as well, the shield to keep backline enemies alive. And then we do have 8 left over, so you can fill it out with a number of different ones down here, or you can go for another big one in the form of this. So at the start of battle, every 1 speed additionally increases the chance of casting ultimate twice as well. So effectively, with this in play, you can get 3 ultimates off turn 1 or round 1 from Eudora because of her passive, if that procs. So her seasonal passive, in case you don't know, Eudora has a seasonal passive where she will perform an additional attack, which will trigger her ultimate again in round 1. So if she does a crit, she'll be triggering that twice, and then if she does this, it'll be a 3rd time as well. So just something to keep in mind. But we're not going to put that in. We are going to fill it out with these as well. So we want our crit rate up. We want our crit resistance up. We want speed up. We'll go ahead. We've got 2 more. I'm going to put in damage reduction, and I think damage boost as well should do it. I don't suspect that we'll win here. We may get clowned in the first round. We'll see, because Ethreals typically are a glass cannon build, or glass cannons in general. But hopefully we'll be able to survive more than a couple of rounds just to see how well we do here. Now, as I said, we've got the 5 season synergy here, so we're getting 40 energy, and we are increasing, so we've got 100 here. So now we do have a chance to one sec. So Eudora got the crit here, follow up, and no double, unfortunately, is what it is. But we do have oh, and this one as well. So if you've got 5 season 5 Ethreals, gain 40 energy each time you use an active skill, excluding ultimates, and at the start of battle all allies gain 100 energy, increasing speed of allies by 100 and crit damage by 100 as well. So just something to keep in mind. Now we do have the shield in play, and they did go ahead and strike the back row. We are double ulting here with the majority of our units, And if we didn't have shield, I would have replaced it with the additional attack as well. So Eudora here, this is 3 ults, and I believe if you go onto the Ethreals Synergy, you can get that up as well. So we do have the splash damage, and potentially what we can do as well, if we do need more damage on the team, we can also include the healing spear as well. So Katrina here, she's doing damage. They look like high numbers, but I promise they are not high numbers. It's a really powerful ability here. With Eudora, sort of triple ulting, but the problem is that we're not increasing our attack very much altogether. Dorabella here, able to do some splash damage. And with her red runes also doing 2% of the enemy's health with those follow-up attacks as well. So as you can see, there are extra triggers there as well when Dorabella attacks, and that's because of her red rune, and that is 1% of the enemy's health. So as you can see, not able to do nearly enough damage to get through, but this is the highest level of cube, so I don't suspect that you should be using these standard teams like this. So our max HP does go up again, with thanks to that Dorabella dying, so that's everybody's HP up by 10%, so hopefully Eudora here to survive for long enough so that her attack can build up. Now I've seen Eudora put a lot of work in over the course of this season so far. It's very powerful unit and very required. Unfortunately, it's a loss here, but we have seen a lot of the content here, or a lot of the triggers going in to the Ethreals, with thanks to their season synergy. Again, just not doing enough damage to even scratch these guys, to be honest. I mean, Katrina here doing a fair bit. 500 million is nothing to shy home about, but it's nowhere near enough. I mean, these guys have hundreds of millions of health, so it's to be expected. But that was the Ethreals team there in action, and we did see a lot of the relics, the seasonal synergy kicking in. So something I did miss, and my apologies for that, is if we do have 5, they gain 40 energy each time they use an active skill. At the start of battle, all allies get 100 energy, increasing speed of all allies by 100 and crit damage by 100% as well. So something else that we can do with these artifacts, we do need to keep shielding just to keep our frontline enemies alive for as long as possible. But we can take these out, the damage boost, damage reduction, and crit resistance. If we take out the speed as well, we can we can also go ahead and put in, like I mentioned before, this one. So we'll go ahead and save. And this one, it increases the chance to do to cast an ultimate twice with the number of with how high speed is. So effectively, it's 0.15% chance. So if you times that by 100, then you'll get up to about 15%. Then if your speed is around 200, then your chance to ultimate is around 30% every time you do attack. Unfortunately, we didn't get the proc here, but as you can see, still lots of damage going into it. Yeah, unfortunate that we lost Dorabella there. I do suspect that we have lost this now. But it is what it is. Again, highest level difficulty. I wouldn't expect this team to be able to push through enough damage to get through. So we'll see how many Eudora does here. So it is 4, like we predicted. and then a 5th one there. So that is 5 ultimates in one round for Eudora. I think that is the maximum number of ultimates that I have seen her do. I don't think, and I don't suspect that we can get much higher. So Katrina here, able to do, I think, 3 ultimates at maximum. Yeah, like I said, it's a very powerful effect. You can get a lot of those off very quickly. But again, for me, this isn't the best setup for the Ethreals this season. I will just show what I mean by that. There we go. So we're up to that 400 now. This is the maximum number of maximum energy that we can have. So we are getting all of our synergy buffs. You know, chance to deal additional damage, 100% extra damage to that unit. So again, 3 from Eudora, just from that basic attack. So there is the potential to do 3 ultimates on round 1. And if Eudora does survive for long enough, which she does seem to be doing, unfortunately our Dorabella did get marked the first time. So we did lose out on her, but we are triple ulting as well. So if you are having trouble getting through, but you do have a setup like this, and you're not up to cube 62 or whatever it is, this could potentially be a good setup for you. Again, very consistently, we're doing those 5 as well. The reason that it's so powerful is each ultimate that you do has a chance to proc the ultimate twice one. So if you would normally to do 3, that's 3 sets of 30% chance to do. So it's 3 sets of 30% chance to do the ultimate twice, which is why we get the 4th one. And then you've also got Eudora's, like I said, the seasonal passive skill for her, which allows it to do that 5th ultimate. So a very powerful effect indeed. Plus her normal passive of doing the 2nd ult on those particular rounds. So yeah, this is the team. Let's just see how far we would get. Oh yeah, so we were dead the next round, or the same round probably, because Eudora got tagged, I believe. But we'll go ahead and challenge, and the team setup that I wanted to talk about for Astrals specifically, that you might as well be running over. You might as well be running over the Ethreals if you are going to build this way. Would be something like this. We can quick deploy, take out you, and we will add in you. And this is the team setup that effectively you can be running. What I tend to do, because the hammer it's okay. You know, it increases magic damage of all allies by 50%, but Eudora is doing physical. Stun effect, none of the team have stun, and Tempest Tanner attacks 2 enemies. It does apply stun for 1 round, but again, not for me. So what you can do, if you've got spear or the chest, you can do something very similar to this. And you can have the 2 Ethreals, because with the synergy buff you don't need the HP share, you don't need the damage reduction with this team. You just need as much damage going through as possible, which is why typically I won't even use, if I'm going to build an Astrals team like this, I won't even use the Ethereal relics, and instead I would just go for attack increase. So you can go for Death Scythe, it does apply the Mauling Reaper effect, and as well there is the Crown, so you can put Crown in, which will increase all allies attack by 10% for 2 rounds, and also then the Knight's Edge as well, which increases the attack of all allies by 30%. So if I had Crown up to a higher level, it increased it by 30%. But we go for Knight's Edge as well, and let's just see what type of damage we're doing. Now, the reason that I'm going to keep Karnak on the back row specifically is because of the healing factor. So if you don't know, with the Astrals, with the Astrals, every time you heal, you gain that energy back. So better to heal up as much as you can. Even with the passive healing of Karnak, we will be increasing our attack here. So fortunately, Elma has been marked. It's not Katrina that's been marked. So we do get the attack increase. We get the attack increase, and then we'll get the attack increase. Again, for me, the best build for the Ethreals is not the Ethreals Synergy this season. It's okay, you know, it does the job, but again, it's just you're not putting out enough damage with that team alone. You do need your buffs to bolster things. So we do have an increase overall of 20, 60, and I think the spear is 30 as well, so it's 60. So a 60%, a 20%, and another 60%. So that's the additional damage that we're doing currently. Again, but it is the Astrals, I think. So as you can see, Eudora doing much more damage. She was doing 100 million before. Now she's doing 1200 million. So 1200. Yeah, 1200 million. And then this is effectively the entire team. We physically cannot die, despite the enemy's best efforts. So we will go to round 15 on this. So like I said, we didn't do anywhere near enough damage to get through. But for me, an Astrals team is the best way forward for the Ethreals, specifically. But let me know what you guys think. Have I missed anything? If I have, please do let me know down below, so that other people can make sure that they don't miss it as well. If you do like the video, please do, and if you can subscribe to the channel, be really appreciated. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, so any subscriptions would help and be appreciated. I just want to say thank you for watching. You have a great day.